This is 7 News, the voice of the Riverina.
Tonight, the region soaked with rivers rising and the SES on high alert.
Wagga Cancer Centre patients set to have their radiotherapy bulk billed.
I'm Daniel Gibson. Later on this news hour, Brittany Higgins breaks down on the stand the explosive claims in the Riverina defamation case and the Aussie hero that's behind India's miraculous mine rescue.
7 News begins now.
Good evening. The region has been lashed by wild weather, with some areas receiving more than 130 millimetres in just one day.
SES volunteers have been run off their feet with flash flooding. Jacinta Coonahan joins me now. Jacinta, what's it been like there on the ground?
Well, Nick, there's been about 82 incidents in the region so far. 5 of them have been from Wagga. Most of these requests have been for sandbags or leaking roofs. Severe thunderstorms, intense rainfall and damaging winds are still expected into the evening, so SES is asking residents to stay vigilant. But so far you can say that Wagga has escaped most of the bad weather.
What was thought to be a downpour ended in patches of blue sky.
Based on the forecast that we received initially and what we've experienced yesterday and this morning, the Wagga region has escaped the worst of it.
The Wagga region received 40 millimetres of rain, but that was a drop in the ocean compared to further west.
We've seen some really significant storms develop, particularly out in the western Riverina, where overnight at Deniliquin had a significant storm there and dropped 135 mils of rain overnight until 9 a.m. this morning, which is an extreme rainfall event for that area.
The rainy change was welcomed in some ways.
Is it a good reprieve from the hot weather? Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I don't like the heat.
Yes, it hasn't worried me at all. I'm out and about, and so are so many other people by the look of it.
But not in others.
It's no good for haymaking, I think, trying to get a bit of hay made.
And as for the rest of the summer, the El Nino is expected to bring more drier weather.
So we can still experience the severe weather. However, widespread return to riverine flooding is not expected.
Jacinta Coonahan, 7 News.
Well, Kirsty joins us now for a look at today's weather. And gee, it was wet across the region today. What more can you tell us, Kirsty?
Yeah, it absolutely was. Maddie and Nick, hello to you both and good evening, everybody. We had plenty of wet weather across the region overnight, as we've heard, right across the Riverina and for the southwest slopes. Temora recorded 76 millimetres of rain. That is double a month's worth of rain in just a few hours. 58 millimetres fell in Cootamundra. And we continue to see areas of wet weather around Griffith and Junee recording about 40 millimetres to 9 o'clock this morning. Those rain and thunderstorms picked up around 8 p.m. last night, with heavy falls again about 7:30 this morning. And that wet weather has persisted throughout most of today, with a severe storm warning covering the eastern Riverina and the entire southwest slopes earlier today. Another 13 millimetres has been recorded in Junee since 9 o'clock this morning. We've had grey skies about too, and as a result of the warm temperatures and the moisture in the atmosphere, we've also had those very muggy conditions. Cootamundra reached 22 following just 17 overnight. Harden a top of 21 degrees. As we head into tomorrow, we are expecting that chance of showers to ease for our Thursday. We then track into Friday, the first day of summer. Certainly summery conditions are on the forecast into next week. I'll have a look at what's coming up for the end of this week and our weekend a little after sport though.
Sounds good, Kirsty. Thank you. We'll see you soon. Well, after years of lobbying, Wagga could soon be brought into line with every other regional centre for cancer treatment. At the moment, radiotherapy patients have to fork out thousands of dollars for their treatment, but soon it could be bulk billed.
It's the question that's been on the lips of Wagga residents impacted by cancer for decades.
What progress has there been made on delivering on this issue of equity for patients seeking cancer treatment in my electorate?
The only regional centre in the state where patients have to pay for radiotherapy.
That can have an effect on the outcome of treatment. Secondly, sadly, financial issues can actually sometimes mean people don't access treatment that they need.
A long 6 months after the local member tabled a petition for change with more than 12,000 signatures, we finally have an answer.
Releasing a tender for people and organisations to bid on. That'll be open in early December. It'll be closed during January.
So I'm suspecting that probably the middle of next year, the rebate, particularly for radiotherapy, here at the Riverina Cancer Care Centre may be covered by by the government.
Meaning real relief is now in sight for patients of the Cancer Care Centre.
Not only the Riverina radiotherapy rebate being applied, but also applying it to other areas of medical oncology as well, both in-house and outpatients.
But as local patients continue to suffer more than the rest of the state until the change is made, the message is clear.
The sooner the better, and every month will mean a significant saving to patients that are coming in for radiotherapy.
Emily Francis, 7 News.
Local councils are at odds over the level of community consultation from Inland Rail. While some are set to benefit from the project, others say Inland Rail isn't doing enough to convince them it's worth it.
Community consultations with more than 100 worried Wagga residents has left Inland Rail feeling confident its project is on the right track.
On the really positive side, I think a lot of individuals who wanted to come along and talk one-on-one with our experts went away a lot more positive.
But on the downside, others left feeling defeated.
I'm dissatisfied as a councillor representing the community, and I know Councillor Henderson is similar to me.
Local councils along the rail line still at odds over the level of community consultation over the project.
Unfortunately, we've been let down.
Up until now, it's been very good. They've run quite a few meet and greets events. They've even set up stalls on the street where the community could actually consult with them.
Those in favour of the project's delivery say the benefits outweigh the potential impact.
The broad national interests as opposed to losing or the impact on landowners.
While those yet to be convinced hold out hope for the next federal election campaign.
Well, we're just going to have to bite our tongue until election day, and I hope that at election time something emerges, come federally, that this becomes a federal issue locally.
Plans for the Albury to Illabo section of the project are on public display until the 6th of December. Inland Rail will then prepare a report addressing each submission. Emily Francis, 7 News.
Accessing contraception will now be easier than ever before for young women. Females who are aged 18 to 35 who have been prescribed the pill in the last 2 years can now renew their scripts over the counter at the pharmacy. Under the New South Wales Government program, resupplies will also be issued for free. Albury Priceline pharmacy owner Amanda Ward says not only will the new program free up GP waiting rooms, it'll also help women stay up to date with their contraception.
Rather than waiting 6 weeks and having a lapse in treatment, they can walk into the pharmacies where the pharmacists have done the adequate training and then get that resupply for up to 12 months before they have to see their doctor again.
The Albury Priceline pharmacy is one of 1,000 pharmacies across New South Wales who are participating in the program.
The biggest infrastructure project undertaken by Scouts New South Wales is expected to break ground in Wagga. A development application has been submitted to Council for an expansion of the New South Wales Scouts Run Camp, Kurrajong. The $6.6 million facelift will almost double its capacity and add facilities such as an amphitheatre, archery course, tree ropes course and a zip line too. Scouts New South Wales wants the facility to act as the hub for the whole of the Riverina community.
What it aims to do is completely modernise the facility, and that will see demolition of many of the existing buildings to create way for new accommodation, new meeting hall, conference space, kitchen and dining facilities, as well as new amenities and upgrades to camping areas.
It's been funded through the government's Black Summer Bushfire Recovery Program, with construction expected to be underway early next year.
Up next in 7 News, an eating disorder helpline sees a big surge in phone calls.
And the Civic Theatre encouraging more people to enjoy its shows.
And a little later on this news hour, an apology to the victims of thalidomide, more than half a century after the drug devastated families. Brittany Higgins takes the stand, giving evidence at Bruce Lerriman's defamation trial. And the Aussie who played a critical role in the rescue of 41 miners.
Welcome back. The Butterfly Helpline is preparing for a big surge in calls this holiday season. With families coming together to enjoy the traditional Christmas lunch, it can also lead to distress for people who are suffering from an eating disorder.
Christmas can be the most wonderful time of the year. However, for the more than 1 million Australians living with an eating disorder, this may not be the case.
An eating disorder is when somebody has concerns about eating, weight, shape or their control, and that impacts on their day-to-day life.
Between December 2022 and January 2023, the Butterfly Foundation helpline received almost 3,500 calls, a 15% increase on the previous year. Now, the helpline is preparing for a surge this holiday season.
We're more bombarded with advertising to try to sell us something across the Christmas period, and unfortunately in January that switches to New Year's resolutions and weight loss, and all of those things can really put a lot of extra pressure on people.
Professionals are dedicated to removing the stigma associated with an eating disorder, educating that a cross-section of people can be affected.
Certainly there's a small group of people with eating disorders that are thin, but eating disorders happen across the weight spectrum. They also happen in all genders and across all cultural groups and across all age groups as well.
The Butterfly Foundation website can offer support for individuals.
Many people with an eating disorder don't actually realise that they have an eating disorder. You know, they're suffering, but they don't realise what's causing that, and that there is help and support available.
Or concerned family and friends.
There's information specifically for people who are worried about somebody who may have an eating disorder. There's also links to support lines and other kinds of services that people can access. So I think that's a starting point to be informed.
Rochelle Putnikovich, 7 News.
High school students have received a lesson outside the classroom today. The Rider program is teaching soon-to-be drivers how to be safe on the road.
Braving the elements and learning a lesson in driving to the conditions.
Now, do we think that's realistic for stopping distance in the wet?
Around 200 high school students today took part in the Rider program at the PCYC. It's run by Road Safety Education with the help of Rotary and teaches young soon-to-be drivers how to be safe on our roads.
Actively giving students the tools and the strategies and the knowledge to make better decisions on the road as drivers and as highly influential passengers.
It's about all the peripheral things, your mental attitude, the influence of your friends, all those types of things that that can impact on your driving.
Demonstrations both inside and outside the classroom formed 6 workshops throughout the day.
What do people on their provisional licence bring to the table that can make them safer than anybody else on the road?
Teaching crucial lessons about so much more than just getting behind the wheel.
We look at the relationship between music and driving decision making. We look at the relationship between speed and stopping distance.
And long before the students are in the driver's seat themselves.
This was a really controlled demonstration for you.
It's really important that those attitudes and those behaviours get sort of set from now because young people especially are far more at risk.
Around 40,000 students across Australia and New Zealand take part in the Rider program every year, and it's been running for 2 decades.
You reckon we're good?
Our intention is probably to expand it in future years.
Road safety is a community challenge, and the solution to it is a community solution.
Claire Sienta, 7 News.
Wagga's Civic Theatre is breaking down stereotypes to get more people through its doors. The new Heartbeat of the City campaign has seen a social media takeover from local businesses who are encouraging the community to get involved in the local entertainment scene. It's hoped the campaign will lead to more community engagement ahead of the theatre's next season.
We're trying to break down that stigma that the theatre is a stuffy place. We think this place is a place for everybody, and we want to see our whole community here next year.
The full 2024 season lineup will be announced next week, along with subscriptions and their memberships.
Still to come in 7 News, the Leeton Phantoms set to make a grand return to the first grade.
And a rugby league prodigy set to take on the world.
On Sunrise, the Aussie suburbs bucking the rental increases. The most affordable houses leasing for less than $500 a week.
Plus, the Beverly Hills Cop is back. Eddie Murphy's big new surprise, 30 years in the making.
See you in the morning.
Welcome back. We start with rugby tonight. The Leeton Phantoms are set to make a grand return to the Southern Inland Rugby Union's first grade lineup to celebrate the club's 50th year. The Phantoms haven't fielded a first grade team since 2019, instead choosing to keep their focus on the second grade competition. But the club has just secured a new coach who's got the skills to bring Leeton back into the top grade.
just the ability to bring a whole lot of players back to the club will be exciting, and yeah, we'll hopefully be quite competitive in first grade.
It's hoped to return to the tougher competition. We'll see more players come back to the game.
Hopefully being back in first grade, we'll draw some of those players back in and, you know, do the best that they can for the club. So.
It is an ambitious return to first grade with the goal to make competition finals in 2024. To touch football, and Wagga's spring touch season has entered the finals, but things have gotten off to a soggy start. Jubilee Park was set to host the first round of men's semi-finals last night, but games had to be cancelled at the last minute. As it stands, PAH Construction Rhinos are sitting atop of the ladder with Shake and Bake a close second. The Rhinos have only lost one game all season. A local junior rugby league prodigy is set to take her talents to the international arena. Holly Williams has been selected to the Australian Wanderers under-16s team, and she's jetting off in just a matter of weeks.
A talented local player with youth on her side. 16-year-old Holly Williams isn't just impressing on Wagga's rugby league fields, she's preparing to represent Australia overseas.
It's actually really exciting. It's an opportunity that we don't usually get, especially in rural areas.
Williams will head to Europe at the end of December. She's been selected in the Australian Wanderers under-16s girls rugby league team. The national squad will take on the best junior players in the world across multiple events in England and France.
It was from Triple C. It was just a competition against CIS. It was a New South Wales competition. They just picked girls from there and gave them all the opportunity, and then, yeah, we took it up and said, we'll go.
After being selected as the team manager, there's only one more hurdle to conquer: paying for the massive trip. Williams needs thousands of dollars to fund the football experience and is now reaching out to her local community for support. Flexit Gym and Hype Studio keen to get behind her.
Very proud. Holly and her dad Justin are always in training in here and have been for years. And so, yeah, we just want to see get behind her and see how far she can go with this.
More than $4,000 in gym memberships will be auctioned off online on December 11th and 12th in the hopes of fostering the young talent to greatness.
I think it's very uplifting and motivating for young people to have a space that they can come and where we will push and encourage them to reach those new heights.
Williams has also started raising funds via the Australian Sports Foundation charity site, and with major aspirations for a career in footy.
This opportunity just makes up more pathways for my future and I guess girls as well my age, their futures as well.
She's certainly a talent to watch. Samantha Costin, 7 News.
Wagga could soon be home to one of the best greyhound racing venues in all of New South Wales. Plans are in the works to build a state-of-the-art facility at the current showground location. The upgrade will include a new 2-turn circle track to improve safety, as well as a new straight track. Greyhound Racing New South Wales is asking for feedback from Wagga locals before it starts construction. It is expected the upgrade will take place in the next 12 to 18 months. Up next in 7 News, will we see more rain? Kirsty has all the details in just a couple of minutes. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back, everyone. Wet weather has lashed much of the state today with some significant rain and storms through the southeast. We saw those severe storms contracting to the northeast of New South Wales today. Conditions do look to ease for most of the state into tomorrow as those systems move offshore. We will see some scattered rainfall for the end of spring and the chance of a thunderstorm outbreak. Similar through Friday and the weekend. In fact, we're not looking to see clearer skies until at least early next week. Now, most of our region's heavy rainfall has already arrived. We do still have that risk of storms on the forecast, though, which for some parts of the region could drop areas of localised heavy rainfall, and those showers are possible until early next week. A severe storm warning for heavy rain, damaging winds and large hail contracted to northern parts of the southwest slopes this afternoon. On to tomorrow, as we can see, there is still a chance of a shower or two around, no more than 1 millimetre for Wagga at this stage. Otherwise, we're expecting some patchy cloud, light winds and those cooler temperatures persisting around about the low to mid-20s. Harden 23 degrees, Tumut at a top of 26. As we kick off the start of December and the start of summer on Friday, we will see similar conditions. That slight chance of a shower or two with a westerly breeze, but warming up, 27 in Griffith and 28 degrees on the way for Gundagai. A large part of the region back to the high 20s. Light winds during the evening, they'll shift southwesterly, bringing a little bit of cooler air into the region. Selwyn a top of 16 degrees. Through to Saturday, similar conditions for the start of the weekend. There's about a 60% chance of a shower in Wagga, with storms persisting. Lockhart a top of 25 degrees. A little bit of patchy blue sky around once again. Moderate winds. Cootamundra reaching 25. Harden the same, and 23 on the way for Tumbarumba. If we take a look now to the 7-day outlook from early next week, we certainly are expecting much more summer-like conditions, temperatures jumping to the high at the low 30s, I should say. Clear skies on the forecast. We are still seeing that typical spring weather of storm activity through the end of this season, through today and tomorrow. A little bit of wet weather into the start of summer on Friday and Saturday. Nice to see those clear skies on the horizon, but nice to get a little bit more rainfall too. We certainly need it.
Yeah, we do need a bit for the garden there, Kirsty.
That's right.
Thank you. All right, now for a quick look at the latest fuel prices. In Wagga, you'll find unleaded for $1.82 and diesel for $1.98 at the Metro and Ashmont. Junies United has unleaded for $1.82 and diesel for $2.06. And in Young, you'll find unleaded for $1.88 and diesel for $2.03 at the Metro.
And that's your local news for tonight. Thanks for your company. You can catch up on our website or, of course, 7plus.
Right now, Dan's got your national news. Enjoy your night, and we'll see you tomorrow at 6 o'clock.